We're living longer than ever before, but as a nation, we're not aging well. So we've set up a unique experiment. Here, in our specially designed lab, some of the country's top scientists are helping Britain to slow down the aging process.
The bathing cat has to stay on, actually, for the rest of the day.
Tim, you're going quite pink in the face there.
Scientists now understand that we all have two ages, our birth age and our body age, which is a reflection of how fast our bodies are actually aging.
2/3 of us have a body age higher than our birth age. Because of our diet, activity and lifestyle choices, we're aging a lot faster than we should be.
Oh my God.
Good grief.
That's shocking.
I'm Dr. Chris Van Tulloken.
And I'm broadcaster Angela Rippon.
Alongside leading scientists, we're running an experiment to help volunteers who are all aging badly.
If those effects aren't brought down, you'll accelerate that aging process even more.
Using the latest science, we'll put them on an anti-aging program.
Look at that.
Oh, that's quite hard, you know.
They'll have 3 months to bring their body age down.
That is amazing.
We are going to slow down the aging process.
If you've ever worried about aging or wanted to turn the clock back, well, we are going to show you how to do it.
This is how to stay young.
Helping us to age better is now one of the world's most exciting areas of research.
In our experiment, we'll help turn around the lives of a group of volunteers who are all aging badly.
So it'll take about 40 seconds.
Their journey begins here in our lab. We're testing them from head to toe to uncover the signs of accelerated aging.
The experiment is being run by Professor Mike Trunell from the Institute for Aging at Newcastle University.
Aging itself is driven by a lot of different things. There's no one single factor, which is why we've got to do all of these tests. We're going to find out the truth about people because many people look really well and very young on the outside, but on the inside, it's a very different picture.
First up is 51-year-old Patrick Lucky from Brentwood in Essex.
Squeeze.
You are not necessarily the kind of person I was expecting to show up. You're slim, you look fit.
Yeah.
So why are you here? Do you think there are things you're not doing well?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Really?
Yeah. My diet, I work in the NHS and I work in a busy...
That's all you need to say. I work in the NHS.
All right, sorry.
And everything else is like, OK,
Yeah.
so your diet's rubbish.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
terrible. I've been a junk food fiend for years. Because I've never put on weight, I've always thought, well, I can get away with it. I can eat what I like.
Although Patrick looks fit and lean, we're concerned his extreme junk food diet is aging him on the inside. In particular, his heart. To find out, we're measuring cholesterol levels and taking his blood pressure, tests that we can all do at our local GP surgery.
You're a natural.
Oh yes. Together, they'll indicate if Patrick's love of junk food is putting his heart and arteries at risk of accelerated aging.
Fantastic.
Our lab is full of volunteers all worried about how well they're aging.
I know, I couldn't believe it.
I'm joined by 47-year-old Jennifer Tutty from London.
Look at her face, yes! Now, come on, you collapsed in laughter now.
She's come to our laboratory after undergoing a life-changing operation.
I was told that I had ovarian cancer. They removed everything, so my ovaries, womb, everything has gone. But I was fortunate enough that it was borderline.
Although she was given the all-clear from cancer, the operation had a huge effect on her. She's had trouble sleeping ever since.
I feel like I got out of a Ferrari and got into a Motability scooter.
Jen's lack of sleep could be making her age too fast because it has such a profound effect on how our bodies function, including our ability to maintain our weight. This is the body pod, It'll measure how much of Jen's body is fat. Anything over 31% is bad news. She'll either be overweight or obese, which increases our risk of heart problems and some cancers.
How was that?
Together, our tests will pinpoint how and why Jennifer might be aging too fast. But there's only one that can tell us by how much. This is the Total Body Fitness Test, run by Dr. Sophie Cassidy.
And if you want to start pedalling for us, brilliant. So off we go. So essentially what you're going to be doing is cycling up a hill, okay? So it should feel quite easy at the minute, and it's going to get steeper and steeper.
As she cycles, we're monitoring how much oxygen Jennifer is breathing in and out. This measurement is a reflection of how well different parts of her body are working together. In particular, her heart, lungs, and muscles. The healthier these different systems are, the more oxygen she'll be able to use.
Really well done.
And studies from across the world have revealed that this value changes with age.
So we can measure the amount of oxygen that they can take in, and then we can have a look at how they relate to lots of age groups from the age of 25 all the way through to 90.
This graph, based on thousands of people, shows that for every age, there's an average score on this test. We can use that data to tell us our body age. I'm 72, so my score should be around here.
But presumably, if you've got someone who is 45 and they don't have the same amount of oxygen, they could be down here somewhere, couldn't they?
If they have a very low peak oxygen consumption, their ability to move is on average similar to somebody who would be at 80 or 90.
So by measuring how much oxygen Jennifer can use on this test, we can calculate what her true body age is.
Just keep going. Oh, come on, you drop down to 50.
Come on.
Keep the legs going.
Come on.
Yes, you can.
Come on. All right. Well done.
If you want to find out how you'd perform at this test, visit our website for more information.
Patrick has almost completed all the tests in the lab, but now it's his turn in the hot seat. His diet may be affecting the ability of his heart and blood vessels to work as well as they should. And that will reduce his performance on the Total Body Fitness Test and raise his true body age.
Perfect, you're at 60 speed there, so if you just keep it that pace.
For Patrick, this is the final piece of data we need, and it's time to find out how well he's really aging.
How are you doing?
Pretty good, thanks.
Ready for your results?
Yes, as I'll ever be.
Okay.
His first result comes from a food diary he kept for 3 days before coming to the lab.
Calorie intake in your diet is interesting. I think that's one way to describe it.
Patrick eats a huge amount of calories, yet remains thin, suggesting he has a naturally fast metabolism. But where those calories come from is a problem.
Your sugars, you're meant to have 33 grams, but you're having 150 grams. Fat, you should be having 97 grams, you're having 203.
Good Lord. The next piece of data starts to show your cholesterol levels are raised. The green elements show them in a good zone, and the red shows that they're in a bad zone.
Patrick's total cholesterol level should be below 5. His is 6.3, putting him at risk of heart disease and strokes.
These are a snapshot. If you do not change your diet, you are going to have significant health problems going forward.
Yeah, I can see that.
His blood pressure is also a cause for concern. Like 30% of men, it's higher than it should be for good cardiovascular health.
The first time we might see someone like you, you'd be living your life as normal, and you come in with a heart attack, and that is when you become an old person.
Yeah, I can see that.
Patrick is showing clear signs of accelerated aging. And when compared to thousands of other people, his result on the Total Body Fitness Test will reveal just how much older he really is.
So your birth age is 51.
Yep.
But your body age is this. 73.
Good grief. You're 22 years older in your body than you actually are. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, massively surprised. Good grief. Shocking. I can hear that now. They're screaming at me. That is cheekiest. Yeah, those numbers really made me think about my future and where my life's heading, and it's headed down a path that if I don't change, it's not looking good. So I really need to make a change that's positive rather than continue where I am.
You can see significant improvements in how you're aging in just 3 months. So, with the help of Mike Trennell and his team, Patrick will start a 3-month plan designed to get that body age down. We'll monitor him every step of the way. His biggest problem is his diet. So I'm starting by showing him exactly how cholesterol can age us inside the body.
I've got here a model of 2 arteries. Now, arteries are blood vessels that carry oxygenated blood around your body. Blood is basically a mixture of yellow plasma and red blood cells, as you can see here. Now, the artery on this side is clear, and the artery on this side has been blocked with fatty deposits in its wall. This is what we call an atherosclerotic plaque.
That's my bacon and eggs and chocolate and stuff like that, is it?
But it's not any fat. These deposits contain cholesterol. If you have too much in your diet, cholesterol can accumulate on the artery walls, eventually leading to a blockage.
So if I turn this upside down, you'll see these blood cells flow cleanly through the arteries, whereas these ones flow much more slowly, and ultimately, as you can see here, they get blocked. But if this severe blockage happens in one of the arteries supplying blood to your heart or to your brain, then you have a heart attack or a stroke.
This is exactly why high cholesterol can age us too fast.
In the UK, the leading cause of death in men is blocked arteries, and you are, of course, a man.
Well spotted.
To find out if Patrick is at risk of blocked arteries, we've come to the John Radcliffe Hospital in Oxford. Sonographer Charlotte Herdman and Professor Paul Leeson are using ultrasound to monitor Patrick's cardiovascular system. Professor Leeson researches ways of detecting signs of cardiovascular disease long before they become a problem in old age.
Look at that.
We're looking at the carotid artery in his neck.
Ideally, it will be very smooth with no blockages and no thickenings.
The results of this test will reveal if Patrick is showing any signs of atherosclerosis. We begin by checking for thickening inside the wall of his carotid artery.
One of the areas you can measure, and we know because there's been lots and lots of studies done on this, is looking at the thickness of one particular layer in the wall, and we know that relates to your risk profile. There have been lots of measurements done over age, this from 45-year-old through to 65-year-old. The blue line is the average level, and this is youth sitting slightly higher than expected.
Is that because of the cholesterol and
exactly, yeah.
Tallies with that?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Patrick's arteries are thicker than they should be for someone his age, and that's not all.
Just on the edge of the wall, you can see a little white dot. You actually have a little bit of what we'd call a plaque in the vessel. It's a very strong way of seeing that actually changes really are starting quite early, and it's important to get in and do things to prevent these aging and progressing.
We've caught Patrick just in time. These are the early warning signs of cardiovascular disease. This small plaque will continue to grow if he doesn't change his diet.
I think I've had my head in the sand for so long and in denial for so long that seeing that on the screen is really disappointing, but I thought beforehand it's better to know, and it is better to know.
Back in the lab, 47-year-old Jennifer Tutty has completed all of her tests and is about to find out what her results mean for her body age.
Welcome, Jennifer.
Hello.
So, you ready for them?
Yep, bring them on. Oh, God.
That's a bit overwhelming, isn't it?
Whoa.
Her first result is her body fat percentage.
What we're able to see is that 42.7% of your body weight is made up of fat.
31% is the recommended limit for women. Excess fat in our arteries, muscles and organs means this result puts Jennifer at risk of aging badly.
Surely that's obese, like mega obese. I mean, you're being kind.
This is much higher than where you should be.
Before coming to the lab, we asked Jen to wear an activity monitor for 1 week.
We've got the amount of activity in green that an individual should be doing, so 150 minutes per week. And what we can show you is you're doing about 49 minutes per week.
Oh my God.
So it's less than 10 minutes per day of moderate to vigorous activity.
Did you think you might be doing more than that?
No, I'm just stunned that it's less than a third. Okay.
And the next result is crucial to aging well.
Your average sleep duration is 5 hours. The ideal amount of sleep is about 8 hours. The reason why I'm showing you that is because it has such a profound effect on the body. And sleep is always forgotten, but it's an independent predictor for heart disease, it's an independent predictor for cancer, and it's an independent predictor for type 2 diabetes.
So if you're not sleeping enough, you are more at risk of those conditions.
Yes.
It's time to find out what all this means for Jennifer's true body age.
You ready?
Yeah.
Your birth age is 47. What is your body age?
Whoa. Okay, you can stop now.
Your body age is 71.
That is terrible. That's so bad.
The three things come together, so your physical activity and fitness, your diet and your sleep, and we're going to work on all three of those.
Do you know what? I am ready for this. That figure is gone. It's so gone. It really is.
Great.
Yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm determined. So in 12 weeks' time, it's gonna be a lot better.
We want to improve Jennifer's weight and activity, but we urgently need to fix her sleep. So I've come to meet her at her home in South London to get started.
Jennifer?
Bonjour, Angela. How are you?
Bonjour.
Her problems began after having major surgery last year, following a cancer scare.
Before, when I went to bed, my head hit the pillow and I was gone. Since the operation, I was exhausted, but my mind was racing and I wasn't tired. And although I wanted to sleep, I couldn't sleep. And it's still the same.
Do you feel that not sleeping is adding to the fact that your body age is greater than your birth age?
I definitely think so. And I definitely think it's aging me more as well.
For Jennifer, her biggest problem is sleep. So I'm putting her under a nighttime observation to find out more about the length and quality of how she's sleeping. Cameras will watch her from dusk till dawn, and we'll track her sleep activity using a wrist monitor. This'll give us the data we need to fix her problem. And we've got 12 weeks to do it.
Mike and his team are still busy in the lab.
Well done, keep going, really good.
They're helping people find out how well they're aging, including 54-year-old Harminder Bala.
So we'll do your height, so if you want to step it backwards, and yep, so that's perfect.
Why are you here?
I think it's me time now, really. Sort of keep fit, you know, well-being, eating healthy, and I think it's motivation.
Have you got
No.
Good squeeze as hard as you can, keep going, keep going.
Like everyone in our lab, Harminder has 23 different tests to get through.
Oh, I love having my blood pressure taken.
Do you?
Yeah, it flattens the bingo wings.
Our emotional well-being can affect us physically. So we're testing Harminder for something over 40% of us say we suffer from: stress and anxiety.
I am anxious. Life is stress. I'm experiencing that at work. You don't know what the future's going to be. There's a lot of cutbacks.
The tests work by asking Harminder how she responds to everyday situations. They're being overseen by clinical psychologist Dr. Daniel Collerton.
If you look at people in middle age and you look at their sense of well-being and follow them through into later life, we know that the people who don't have good mood, who aren't well engaged with the world, have a poorer outcome as they get older.
Stress can affect our hormones and reduces our ability to recover from illness, all of which makes us more vulnerable to the aging process. It can also make us more tired. And that may affect Harminder's performance on this, the Total Body Fitness Test.
Don't get too hot in your,
No.
in your very wonderful embroidered tracksuit.
Nice
Okay,
speed,
next
well
test.
done. Thumbs up, you feeling okay? Okay, if you want to stop there.
Great job.
Fantastic.
It's now time for Harminder to find out exactly how well she's aging.
Hello. Hello.
We're beginning with her well-being test, her stress and anxiety levels in particular.
And these are showing on a scale where green is good and red is significantly elevated.
These results are very high.
This, for me, would strike as an individual who was worried about things or anxious about new situations.
And we found physical signs of stress in Harminder's blood test results.
These are markers of stress and inflammation inside of your body that you can see they're elevated up into the red zones.
Studies have shown that stress is linked with increased inflammation in the body.
Inflammation is the body's natural repair process, and normally what you have is you have a repair process that goes up and then it comes back down again. But chronic inflammation, you don't get that cycle. Your body's always trying to repair itself, so it never really heals. In fact, it keeps making things worse.
These results suggest that Harminder's stress could be causing inflammation within her body. And that's bad news for aging well.
If those aren't brought down over time, you'll begin to accelerate that aging process even more.
I thought you might focus in on a few of these things that would worry me a bit. So the cholesterol's up a bit, your blood pressure's quite high. But Mike, you've gone back before all that and talked about stress and anxiety as being the foundations of those problems. Is that right?
Absolutely.
The results aren't good. Harminder's body age is likely to be far higher than it should be.
So, what is Harminder's actual body age?
Your birth age is 54 years, but your body age is 74 years of age.
That's surprising.
And do you want to try and get that number down a bit?
Definitely. Definitely something to think about. Well, not think about, do about, work on immediately. The results were surprising. It is a wake-up call.
Patrick Lucky needs to lower his cholesterol levels if he's going to stay young. Exercise is one way to reduce the amount of cholesterol in your body, but you'll need to work hard. 40 minutes of vigorous exercise 3 times a week can reduce your cholesterol by up to 10%. But much higher reductions can be gained if we also change our diet. And Patrick isn't finding that easy.
Not long into this process, it's still early days. I know I'm going to do better, but I had a fried breakfast this morning. It wasn't massive. I did exercise, which is a plus, but I'm struggling. The food thing's I'm struggling with. I ate chocolate yesterday as well, so I'm not happy.
For help, I've sent Patrick to meet Paula Moynihan, a professor of nutrition who works with the World Health Organization. This basket contains most of the junk food that Patrick eats during a working week. It's It's jam-packed with sugar, salt and fat.
The saturated fat in your snacks in this basket is probably contributing to your high cholesterol, and all the salt in the snacks that you're eating is likely to be pushing up your blood pressure. So what we need to do is find you some healthy things to replace these snacks, things that you can eat on the hoof as part of your everyday life.
Yeah, great.
So should we go shopping?
Let's go.
Okay.
Lovely.
Paula is choosing items that are part of a Mediterranean-style diet, high in fruit, whole grains, nuts and olive oil, but low in red meat. One study showed that this diet can reduce the chance of death by 37% in people who have heart disease.
The reason I'm selecting these avocados is that they are a really good source of healthy fat. That's monounsaturated fatty acids. That's going to help to lower your cholesterol.
Eating avocados could help reduce your blood pressure.
The reason that I've chosen walnuts is that they are high in healthy fats, but this time they're high in omega-3 fatty acids.
A handful of walnuts per day may lower your risk of heart disease.
I like the idea of those because I can eat them really easy. They're very snacky, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really convenient. Quick oats, a really good handy breakfast or snack, and rich in antioxidants which are anti-aging because they help to neutralise free radicals.
Free radicals are highly reactive molecules that can damage the body and have been linked to heart disease.
Lovely. It's not like I had as a kid, but yeah, it'd be great.
When it comes to staying young, the Mediterranean diet is one of the best diets you can choose. Fresh, unprocessed and colourful foods that work together to protect your body from the things that age you too fast.
So the foods in this basket are going to help to reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes and other diseases.
Sounds brilliant, really, yeah. I'll be a Superman by the time I've had all that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Patrick is 51 with a body age of 72. If he's to have any hope of lowering it, he needs to follow Paula's advice.
Jennifer Tutty is 47, but has a body age of 71. She's still struggling with her sleep.
Siri, what time is it in the morning?
It's 2:24. Yawn?
Yawn.
We've observed her during the night for 2 weeks, using an activity monitor and night vision cameras. The footage clearly shows a problem. So today, I've brought Jen to Loughborough University to meet sleep expert Professor Kevin Morgan. Why is sleep so important to us physically?
Sleep is that period during which certain processes take place that help to restore wear and tear, both in our bodies and in our brains, very importantly. And we have to give them an opportunity to work. And it's very important for healthy aging.
We gave all our data to Professor Morgan. His analysis reveals that Jennifer's sleeping pattern is highly erratic, and she wakes up frequently.
I don't remember waking up. I don't remember having my eyes open. I don't remember talking. I don't remember any of it.
We measure this using an index called sleep efficiency, which is the percentage of time we spend in bed asleep. Now, for a healthy person, sleep efficiency tends to be over 90%. Jennifer's sleep efficiency is around 84%. That's way too low. It shows a pattern which I would say is consistent with the definition of insomnia.
To help Jennifer with her insomnia, we need to fix her erratic sleeping pattern and get her sleep efficiency above 90%. And Professor Morgan has a plan.
When you're in bed watching television, you're teaching yourself that this is a place where I'm alert and I'm not intending to go to sleep. I'm intending to watch television. You basically teach yourself to be awake in bed. So we need to teach you that your bed is something that you fall asleep in. So we're going to have to take out all the things that have got nothing to do with sleeping. So the TV, I'm afraid, will have to go. Second thing we need to do is institute a regime of what's called sleep restriction.
Since Jennifer only sleeps for 5 hours a night, that's how long she's now allowed to stay in bed. That means lights out at 1 a.m.
So at 6 o'clock in the morning, you set your alarm, and that's when you get up, okay? No lying in.
Basically, what you're saying is that if she restricts her time, she's going to start feeling sleepy. She'll have no option but to go to sleep.
Absolutely right. We're going to manufacture sleepiness such that when you go to bed, you're far more likely to go to sleep.
If you're having trouble sleeping, try removing all distractions that have nothing to do with sleep. This will help you relearn that bed is a place for sleep. Even the books have to go.
I can feel my intelligence dimming by the minute.
But we're going further than that with Jennifer. We're restricting her sleep. Surprising research shows that spending less time in bed can help people with insomnia sleep better in the long term. It should increase Jennifer's sleep efficiency, and then she can start sleeping for longer and age better. If you have insomnia, consult your GP for advice, as this might work for you.
So all our volunteers have to change their lifestyles to age better. We identified stress as Harminder's biggest issue, which she puts down to pressures at work. So I want to discover more about how it's affecting her and what we can do to help.
We have brought you here to meet some scientists who are going to stress you out scientifically. So should we go in and meet them?
Yeah, great, thank you.
Professor Andrew Steptoe at University College London is an expert in how stress affects the body. He and his colleague, Dr. Ruth Hackett, are about to conduct one of their tests on Harminder to see how she responds to stressful situations.
So if I could set you up with the pen.
She has 5 minutes to trace as many lines as she can on this star shape. It sounds easy, but there's a catch. She can only see the shape through a mirror. This breaks the link between hand and eye, making the task difficult and stressful.
Well, I'm getting frustrated. I'm trying to think which is... It's quite hard, you know.
By taking her blood pressure, Professor Steptoe can gauge how her body reacts to that stress.
What we expect to happen is her blood pressure will increase quite a lot and her pulse rate will become much quicker. And this indicates that she is reacting to this challenge with a fight or flight response.
Fight or flight is an inbuilt survival mechanism developed to respond to threat. It's what kicks in when we get stressed.
Oh, right, where am I going? Stop.
To prepare the body for imminent danger, adrenaline is released into the bloodstream. It temporarily increases heart rate and constricts blood vessels. This causes our blood pressure to rise.
Okay, you can stop now. 5 minutes are over.
Oh my God.
But the test isn't actually over. We're still recording Harminder's blood pressure as she sits quietly. We want to know how long it takes her to recover.
Some people show a very prompt recovery, and so after only a few minutes, they're back down at baseline levels. Other people, the responses are sustained for minutes or even hours, and we think that that's a particularly problematic type of response, which could contribute to health risk and to aging.
Stress can damage our health if we have difficulty calming down. We want to know if Harminder recovers quickly or remains stressed long after the task is finished.
What is important is that during this recovery period, you can see the average response comes down back towards the baseline again, but yours is just staying high throughout this time that you spent just sitting there.
This graph reveals that Harminder's blood pressure remained elevated for the entire duration of the recovery period.
What effect does that have on bodies over the long term?
What we know in people where that is the case is that they do seem to be at higher risk as far as things like future high blood pressure is concerned, and we also see changes in some of the processes of aging, which suggests that there's some acceleration in the aging process as well.
Impaired memory, weight gain and heart disease are all linked to chronic stress.
Do you know what? I'm quite surprised that it can have such an impact, but I'm totally aware it is affecting me and I recognise it.
I don't imagine you can just quit your job. We can't give you pots of money. We can't change a lot of the stresses in your life. But what can we do about this?
Think about your general level of fitness, because we know that people who are physically fitter tend to show more rapid recovery following these types of mental stress, interestingly.
Exercise is one of the best things you can do to beat stress and stay young. It can reduce the levels of stress hormones in the body and increases the production of endorphins, our natural feel-good chemicals. But Harminder doesn't like exercise. So I've asked Dr. Sophie Cassidy from our ageing lab to visit her. She's recommended high-intensity interval training.
The idea of high intensity training, Harminder, is that it will feel tricky for short bursts, okay? So you will be panting.
If you're short of time, then just 25 minutes of intense exercise 3 times a week will make you fitter and help your stress.
Keep going, you're doing really well.
I'm hoping this will get Harminder fitter, combat her stress and get her body age down.
Okay, that's it. You're done. Oh.
Patrick Lucky has been following a 3-month anti-aging plan, specially designed to reduce his cholesterol and bring his body age down.
None of these, no. I don't eat any bad stuff anymore. I still snack between meals. I think I'll always do that, but it's what I snack now compared to what I snacked before.
We've completely overhauled his diet. The crisps and the chocolate have disappeared.
The nuts in particular are really, really good snack foods throughout the day.
Patrick's diet is now packed with good fats, protein and fibre. Foods like these are great for a healthy heart and to help us age well.
I want to be as healthy on the inside as I hope I end up looking on the outside.
Now he's come back to our lab, but has he done enough to bring down his body age of 72?
I hope my body age has gone down. I'd say 5 years would be good. I'd be happy with that. But I'm reserving a bit. I'm also kind of thinking of course I'd be happy with more.
Very nice.
It's time to find out.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
It's been 12 weeks.
It has.
Do you want to see all your data?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, let's see
okay.
it.
That's the approach.
First is the breakdown of Patrick's diet. Patrick still consumes more calories than average, but his diet is now much healthier. The amount of saturated fat he eats per week has fallen from 92 grams to 29.
That's a pretty remarkable change in every single food group.
That's going to give you many positive effects throughout your body.
But has this improvement helped reduce the pressure on his aging heart and arteries?
The next piece of data that I'd like to show you is around your blood pressure, because when you first came through, you were in the red zones, and that's of no real surprise to us because your diet was so poor. But I'm pleased to tell you that 12 weeks later, the change in your diet has taken your blood pressure right back into being in the normal area.
Fantastic.
But Patrick's 12-week programme was devised to solve one problem in particular, his cholesterol levels.
You had quite a high total cholesterol. This is one of the bad fats inside of your body. And if we have a look at 12 weeks later, that's come down right on the cusp of being normal.
So your total cholesterol's gone from 6.3 to 5.1, which is quite a big shift, considering it's been done with diet and lifestyle. Normally, to see that kind of change in cholesterol, we tend to give people pills, so that is a
Great.
good effort.
Oh, yeah, great. I'm pleased with that, really pleased.
So once again, that reduces your risk of strokes and heart attacks and death.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
That's brilliant. Wonderful.
This is precisely what Patrick wanted to do. Reverse those signs of ageing only visible on the inside.
So are you ready to find out now what your body age is? So your original body age 12 weeks ago was 73.
Yeah, it still looks terrible.
But it has changed. So it's come down, 68, 7, 66, 5, 4, 64. So you come down 9 years.
Brilliant.
51-year-old Patrick has knocked 9 years off his body age in just 3 months.
Are you pleased with that?
Well pleased with that. Absolutely, really chuffed.
The nice thing, I think, is that you don't seem to be finishing this 12-week period, exhausted by it, craving, lousy food. You've just slotted it all in quite nicely.
Patrick's determined to continue with the changes to his lifestyle to benefit him and his family.
I've become very proactive in my thinking now. I'm looking ahead and thinking, well, there's certain things that are inevitable in ageing, and I can affect how soon I encounter those, and some of them I can put off maybe indefinitely,
For the past 3 weeks, Jennifer Tutty has been on a sleep restriction program, a radical treatment to cure her insomnia. And she's finding it difficult.
This night has just been the longest night of my life.
At 1 a.m, she can finally go to bed.
Night.
But not everything is proving so difficult. For some, exercise can help encourage a better night's sleep. We've given Jen a target of 30 minutes of moderate exercise, but she's decided to double it.
I cycle to and from work. I then go to the gym and I use the treadmill. If I come back home and I haven't done enough, then I will also use the static bike. The benefits that I feel from doing the exercising is tremendous, actually. I actually feel lighter and I feel a lot better.
If you have trouble sleeping, exercising in the morning or afternoon can help the natural cycle that tells your body when to be awake and when to be asleep. So if Jennifer can stick to this sleep restriction and the exercise, we may have a recipe for curing her insomnia and getting her body age down.
We identified stress as a major problem for Harminder Bala, and we asked her to stick to a strict exercise program to help combat the effects of stress. But she's struggling with the plan.
Harminder, how's it been going?
Overall, up and down. Good days, bad days. It's been hard.
When was the last time you did your training?
I think last Monday or Tuesday. I can't exactly remember the days.
So about a week ago.
About a week ago.
Tell me about stress. How's that been?
I think that's still very high, if I have to be honest.
I think probably the fact that you're still having a really hard time with stress and anxiety is not helping. So we need to find a way of doing this that works for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a one-size-fits-all deal trying to stay young.
I don't want to give up. The only person that's going to change is me, and I will move on,
Exercise isn't working. We need to try something else to get Harminder's stress levels down.
She's in a vicious cycle where, because she's stressed, she lacks motivation to exercise, which, if she could do it, would probably help. So I want to try and help her find a technique for managing stress that she can use anywhere at any time.
I'm hoping a meditation technique called mindfulness might be the answer, so I've signed her up for an 8-week course. Mindfulness is recommended by the National Institute of Clinical Excellence as a way of improving our mental well-being. The technique is to focus on physical sensations coming from the body rather than any worries you may have.
And just letting your attention expand to your whole body sitting here, softening and opening to awareness of your whole body.
It's difficult, as to begin with, the mind wanders, especially towards stressful events.
Hi Susanna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you okay.
Classes can be found all over the country. Studies show that after 5 weeks, we can start to see changes in the brain. To find out if Harminder's brain has changed, we're sending her to Bangor University. She's meeting with psychologist Dr. Dusanna Dorji. She's going to test Harminder's ability to use mindfulness with an EEG, or electroencephalogram.
Does it feel all right?
Yeah.
Not pulling you anywhere?
No, it feels like a nice head massage.
The CAB detects electrical brain activity, which can reveal if Harminder is feeling positive or negative.
Does it feel all right?
Mm-hmm.
For the first part of the test, we asked her to think about a stressful situation. We then show her images designed to stimulate either a neutral or a stressful negative response.
That is actually very nice looking data.
For the second part, Harminder practices her new mindfulness techniques. She concentrates on sensations coming from the body, a technique called the body scan. And then looks at a second set of pictures. We want to see if mindfulness changes her brain's reactivity when she sees those stressful negative images. An hour later, the results are in.
Those who are more mindful, they tend to have less reactivity to negative images. So we wanted to see whether that would be the case.
The columns on the graph represent Harminder's reaction to the negative images within her brain. The higher the bar, the more negative and stressed she is.
The orange one is for the mindfulness condition. So you can see that actually there was quite a big difference. Yeah. So the response to the negative images was much less strong, much less reactive in the case of the mindfulness practice.
Okay.
The test reveals that mindfulness is working for Harminder. The negative images are designed to cause a stress response, but after practicing mindfulness, Harminder's reaction to them is much less. In other words, she's finally able to control the chronic stress that's aging her.
If we are stressed about something at work, we come home and we keep on thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
We can't let go. And mindfulness means that you can notice what is happening in your mind, and you might be able to actually, in a way, step back and just notice what is happening there, rather than reacting to it immediately with another thought and kind of spiraling it further.
If you suffer from stress and anxiety, practicing mindfulness for as little as 15 minutes a day could help you stop overthinking stressful situations and help get you younger.
It is really so powerful. It's incredible how your body reacts, and you don't really listen to your body. Well, I certainly haven't been. And yeah, I'm, going to carry on with it.
For the last 12 weeks, Jen has been trying hard to improve her sleep and get her body age down.
Although I'm not sleeping for longer, my sleep is deeper. So instead of having, light sleep, heavy sleep, light sleep, I'm now longer patches of deep sleep.
Now she's back in the lab to discover if all her hard work has paid off.
I'm going to stop you for a couple of minutes. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Look at you. You look so terrific.
Thank you.
My life is completely transformed. I am much happier, much more focused. I'm back to being the Jennifer from 2 years ago. I'm much happier.
One last push on the total body fitness test awaits.
Bring it on.
Her improved sleep and big jump in activity means that she's likely to score better on this than before. If she does, she'll bring down that body age of 71.
It's got to be 50s, I think, and I'm not going to be happy with that. But Rome wasn't built in a day, and I've had 12 weeks, so I've got a little bit longer to bring it down.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
You're raring to go.
Oh, God. Go on.
The first thing that we wanted to talk about was your physical activity and exercise level, because you started off at doing 49 minutes per week, which was not an enormous amount. If you fast forward 12 weeks, you've transformed your activity patterns.
That is amazing. Her efforts have had a significant effect on her body fat percentage. It's now nearly at the recommended level. But what about the one thing she struggled with the most? Her sleep.
When you started, your sleep efficiency was less than 75%. That means that you're not giving your body the chance to recover. Anything less than 90% means you're not managing that. You now have a 98% sleep efficiency, so your body is now getting the chance to recover and regenerate.
Our target was to increase Jennifer's sleep efficiency to a healthy 90%. 98% is a huge result for her.
You have in front of you the evidence of an extraordinary effort. So, are you ready for the result now?
OK, let's go.
Are you ready? This is what you were 12 weeks ago. Well,
Really?
I need to remind you, because I'd like you to see what you are now.
Jennifer's body age has reduced from 71 to 57, much closer to her birth age of 47.
Which means we have knocked 14 years off your body age. What did you expect that to be?
I was going for my 30s, and I'm still in my 50s. What happened?
I tell you what happened. You've climbed Everest.
So you've got to put this in context. These are things that are not trivial, but they will leave you with a legacy of good health. And this is about aging well, and you're going to age very, very well if you continue the way you are.
So be amazed, but promise me that you will go on, because in no time at all, she's going to get that down even further, isn't she?
Absolutely.
If Jen continues with this level of determination for another 3 months, she'll easily get back to her birth age.
Anything is possible. If I can achieve this in 12 weeks, then anybody can achieve it. You just have to want it badly enough.
54-year-old Harminder Bala hasn't had the easiest time. Stress held her back from attacking her body age. But mindful meditation seemed to be helpful. And in the last weeks of the intervention, she finally got to grips with exercise. Today, she's back in the lab.
Have you got younger, do you think?
Definitely.
Really?
I hope so.
Harminder once again takes our well-being test. It will reveal if stress is still aging her after 7 weeks of mindfulness.
It's something that I've learned that I can apply in my personal life whenever, and that's a really good tool to have.
Reducing her stress should also mean that her body is functioning better. The total body fitness test will show if she's managed to make a dent in her body age of 74.
I hope my body age has gone down. I'll be quite happy 5 years.
Deep breaths, deep breaths.
Anything would be a bonus. I'd be much happier.
Testing is now complete. Her new body age awaits.
Should we kick off, Mike? Put the results up?
Of course. "12 weeks ago, we measured depression, anxiety and stress. And anxiety and stress were quite high. Now, coming back 12 weeks later, these are your results.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So what you can see is anxiety and stress, the two things that were elevated, have come right back down into normal levels.
I mean, that in a sense, you had the hardest job of anyone here.
Okay.
Because everyone else can lose weight, get fit, get strong, they can take those steps. All the things that were causing you stress, you can't just throw away or change. Harminder's well-being scores are now normal. And despite her early difficulties, she's increased her activity levels, lost almost 4 kilos, and lowered her blood pressure.
And you've lost weight, you've become more active. The third element that we begin to explore is what are the effects onto your body's stress? So these are blood tests that measure the inflammation in the body or the stress inside of the body.
At the start of our intervention, these markers of bodily stress were all high in the red zone. They're now coming down towards healthy levels.
You can see quite clearly that there was a significant change in your body. So not just is your mental well-being improving, your body is relaxing too.
You've gone from being someone whose whole body was as if it was constantly preparing for an infection or a fight, to being someone whose body is, quietly recovering.
And all of these things go together, and that's something that we've learned. Mental well-being and physical well-being go hand in hand. And if you feel well and your body's doing well, everything works nicely. But the challenge is getting it in that way in the first place, which is what you've done.
That's good.
Okay, well, I think we're ready for the body age. So previously, your body age was 74, and now it's gone down by 6 years to 68. Although some way off her birth age of 54, this is a huge step in the right direction for Harminder, especially when dealing with stress.
I'm happy with that.
You should really be happy with that. To hack off 6 years in just 3 months, especially with the problems you've had, is remarkable.
Oh,
I think you get a big old hug. I'm very, very, very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Really pleased.
I do feel definitely a different person today. 6 years is 6 years off that other number. So I'm really happy and really proud of myself. And I'm going to carry on with it.
Next time, find out why a little heavy lifting goes a long way to keeping us young.
That's great.
How our fat cells are crucial in fighting the aging process.
And how you can turn back the clock on an aging brain.
I think I've got my mojo back. I think that's what it is.